Cincinnati is a city of firsts. The Reds were the first professional baseball team. We're home to the first professional fire department. And the Black Brigade of Cincinnati was the first organized group of black soldiers to serve in the Civil War.
Oftentimes in war, there's a great necessity for soldiers, and so they were put together as the Black Brigade under white leadership.
They thought that at that time that blacks should not have been involved in the Civil War because they didn't want the Civil War to be about slavery, even though it was. I mean, you can't separate the two.
That changed in September of 1862 when Confederate forces set their sights on Cincinnati.
When the African American community heard about it, they wanted to meet to protect their land. Well, the mayor and stuff said, you can't meet anymore, we don't want you.
The history of African Americans in the American military service is no matter what kind of resistance there was, the allegiance of African Americans to their country, the United States, has always been powerful.
He decided to have the city police force go and round up African American men. And so they kidnapped about 400 African-American men, forced them at gunpoint and bayonet to cross over to defend Cincinnati.
Union General Lew Wallace did not approve of these men being forced into service, so he asked then Cincinnati Judge William Dickinson to intervene. Judge Dickinson sent the 400 men back home to their families and asked them to return the next day voluntarily. And they did. This time, 700 strong.
They went across that river and they dug rifle ditches, they cut down trees, and they were there to build forts.
Confederate soldiers had gotten within, by all reports, about 11 miles of the city. And the members of the Black Brigade, 700 strong, built the fortifications a little bit south of the city in order to keep the Confederate soldiers from coming this way.
It said that Confederate soldiers, they were marching and they saw all these African American men with pitchforks and shovels and stuff like that, and they didn't know what was going on, but they turned and coat and ran.
So it's not an overstatement to say that they saved the city?
It is not an overstatement to say that they saved the city, because they would have come, the Confederate soldiers from Kentucky and from the South, Tennessee, they would have come to Cincinnati, and there would have been a great, great fight. But the bravery, the courage, the hard work, the patriotism of the Cincinnati Black Brigade overcame all that.
Their service and dedication is recognized in a lasting way through this monument at Smale Riverfront Park.
Why don't we tell this story more?
I think we are trying to tell the story more. I just think people don't want to hear it anymore.
Well, if you don't tell the story about the Black Brigade, then we forget. And their story is something that ought to be included in all of the nation's textbooks about groups and soldiers that fought in the Civil War, that they are an important cornerstone in our march towards freedom and liberty and equality.
Hey there, thanks so much for visiting the Local 12 YouTube channel. Click the links, hit subscribe to get notified anytime we post content to this channel.